Francis Ngannou's journey from a small village in Cameroon to becoming one of the most feared fighters in mixed martial arts, MMA, history is nothing short of remarkable. His life story is defined by perseverance, hardship, and an unwavering determination to succeed. Known for his ferocious knockout power and towering physical presence, Ngannou's rise to prominence has captured the imagination of MMA fans around the world. Early life in Cameroon. Francis Ngannou was born on September 5, 1986, in the small village of Batié, Cameroon. Growing up in extreme poverty, his childhood was marked by hardship. His father, who was often described as abusive, passed away when Ngannou was only 6 years old. This left his family in a vulnerable position, and Ngannou had to work from a young age to help support them. At just 10 years old, he began working in a sand quarry, shoveling sand for long hours to earn money. Despite his circumstances, Ngannou always harbored big dreams. He idolized combat sports heroes, particularly boxers like Mike Tyson, and dreamed of becoming a professional fighter one day. However, the path to achieving that goal seemed almost impossible. Cameroon had little to no infrastructure for combat sports, and Ngannou's immediate surroundings offered him no opportunities to pursue his dreams. Journey to Europe. At the age of 26, Ngannou made a life-changing decision. He would leave Cameroon and attempt to make it to Europe in pursuit of a better life, and ultimately, his fighting dreams. This journey would turn out to be one of the most grueling and dangerous periods of his life. Ngannou traveled across multiple countries in North Africa, including Algeria and Morocco, facing the harsh realities of human trafficking, border patrols, and survival. Like many migrants seeking refuge in Europe, he tried multiple times to cross into Spain by sea. His attempts were fraught with danger, and he was arrested and jailed multiple times during this period. For months, Ngannou lived in makeshift camps in the Moroccan desert, enduring hunger and violence. Finally, in 2013, he made it to Europe and settled in Paris, France. However, his challenges didn't end there. Arriving with no money, no place to live, and unable to speak French, Ngannou was homeless for a time. He lived on the streets of Paris and had to rely on local charities for food and shelter. It was a humbling and tough experience, but Ngannou remained resolute in his belief that he could become a successful fighter. The start of his MMA career. Ngannou's fortunes began to change when he walked into a local gym in Paris with the hope of becoming a boxer. The gym's owner, Didier Carmont, saw potential in Ngannou but persuaded him to try MMA instead of boxing. Ngannou agreed, and under the guidance of Carmont, he began training in various aspects of mixed martial arts, including striking, wrestling, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Ngannou took to the sport quickly, and his physical gifts were evident early on. At 6'4" and weighing around 260 pounds, Ngannou possessed a rare combination of size, athleticism, and power. His natural ability, combined with his work ethic and determination, allowed him to quickly rise through the ranks of the European MMA scene. In 2015, after only a few professional fights in France, Ngannou was signed by the Ultimate Fighting Championship, UFC, the premier MMA organization in the world. His rise in the UFC was meteoric. Rise in the UFC and knockout power. Ngannou made his UFC debut in December 2015, where he showcased his immense potential by defeating Luis Henrique via knockout in the second round. This would become a recurring theme in Ngannou's career, as his knockout power became the stuff of legend. Over the next 2 years, Ngannou put together a string of spectacular finishes, including knockouts over UFC veterans like Andrei Arlovski and Alistair Overeem. The knockout of Overeem in December 2017, in particular, became one of the most iconic moments in UFC history. Ngannou's uppercut, which sent Overeem crumbling to the canvas in brutal fashion, was a highlight that cemented his status as a future title contender. His raw power was likened to that of legendary heavyweight boxers, and comparisons to Mike Tyson only grew stronger. By early 2018, Ngannou had amassed an impressive record and earned a shot at the UFC Heavyweight Championship. He faced then-champion Stipe Miocic at UFC 220 in January 2018. However, this fight would be a humbling experience for Ngannou. Miocic, a highly skilled and tactical fighter, used his wrestling and experience to neutralize Ngannou's power, winning a dominant decision and exposing gaps in Ngannou's skill set. setback, and comeback. The loss to Miocic was a pivotal moment in Ngannou's career. After the defeat, he faced Derek Lewis in what was expected to be a thrilling contest between two of the hardest-hitting heavyweights in the UFC. However, the fight was widely criticized for its lack of action, with Ngannou looking hesitant and gun-shy throughout. Lewis won the fight via decision, and Ngannou's confidence appeared shaken. Many began to question whether Ngannou could ever live up to the hype that had surrounded him early in his career. However, Ngannou used these setbacks as learning experiences. He returned to the drawing board, refined his skills, and worked on the weaknesses that had been exposed. Ngannou bounced back in spectacular fashion, going on a devastating knockout streak. He defeated Curtis Blades, Cain Velasquez, Junior Dos Santos, and Jairzinho Rozenstruik, all by knockout, in a combined total of less than 3 minutes. These performances showcased that Ngannou had not only regained his confidence, but had become an even more dangerous and well-rounded fighter. UFC heavyweight champion Ngannou's second shot at the heavyweight title came at UFC 260 in March 2021, in a rematch against Stipe Miocic. This time, Ngannou was a different fighter. He showed improved wrestling defense, greater patience, and more refined striking. In the second round, Ngannou landed a devastating punch that knocked Miocic out cold, crowning him the UFC heavyweight champion. Ngannou's victory was a culmination of years of hard work and perseverance. He had not only avenged his previous loss, but also solidified his status as the baddest man on the planet. His journey from the streets of Paris to the top of the UFC was complete, and he had become one of the most inspiring figures in combat sports. Legacy and impact. Francis Ngannou's story resonates with fans not just because of his immense talent, but because of the sheer adversity he overcame to reach the pinnacle of MMA. From working in a sand quarry in Cameroon to surviving as a homeless migrant in Paris, Ngannou's life has been defined by overcoming obstacles. His rise to the UFC heavyweight championship symbolizes hope and perseverance for many, especially in Africa, where he has become a role model. Ngannou has spoken about his desire to give back to his community in Cameroon and to help create opportunities for young Africans who aspire to make a better life for themselves. Moreover, Ngannou's knockout power is legendary. He holds the record for the hardest punch ever measured by the UFC Performance Institute, and his ability to end fights in the blink of an eye has made him one of the most exciting fighters to watch. Conclusion. Francis Ngannou's career is a testament to the power of resilience, hard work, and self-belief. From a poverty-stricken childhood in Cameroon to the pinnacle of combat sports, his journey is one of the most remarkable in sports history. As UFC heavyweight champion, Ngannou has not only cemented his legacy as one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, but also as an inspiration to millions around the world who dare to dream beyond their circumstances.